All right, ladies and gentlemen, traders, good morning and welcome back to another live session. Hope you guys are feeling good. Hope you're doing well. For those of you that are tuning in on YouTube, remember to check out the disclaimer. All right. Remember that day trading is indeed a risky business. And with that being said, it takes time to learn, takes time to become consistent. So as you're going through the process, utilize smaller size, utilize simulators, utilize 1 to 10 shares. Give yourself a good chance at longevity. That way you do not strike out before learning how to trade. Other than that, remember that copy trading does not work here on this channel. It's all about learning the strategy for yourself. Remember that the YouTube live stream does have latency, about 3 seconds for most people. For others, I've heard up to 5-10 seconds delay, sometimes even 1 minute, depending on where you are. So keep that in mind. Other than that, always be careful of fake Relentless trader accounts. Remember, I will never, ever message you first. So be careful out there and do not get caught slipping with one of these fake accounts. All right, another beautiful day at long last. Today is April 8th, 2025, and just like that, 30%, can you guys believe 30% of the year has came and went like yesterday's news. It's insane. It really and truly feels like it's maybe January 25th, maybe January 30th, but it's going 2-3 times as fast. It is insanity. So anyhow, good morning, and again, we're gonna get into the watch list here. So for those of you tuning in, old hack, I see you guys. What's up? Hit that thumbs up. We're gonna go through the watch list. We got a couple of decent looking stocks here, and it'll be time to trade here pretty soon for the open. All right, let's see. So there's NAOV, I think is going to be the main stock. NAOV currently up 178% with 23 million shares of volume. There's also GLXG. GLXG up 68% with 51 million shares of volume. There's also CYCU, which is up 38% with 41 million shares of volume. And then lastly, I do have a continuation name here, JNVR from yesterday. The stock ended up going to $50. Now, at one point, of course, early for majority of the morning, we had lag in our instruments, especially in relation to our level 2 and our time in sales. So the day was somewhat, not an ordinary day, but it's still interesting to see that this one was able to hold up and push through and make new highs, getting over 30 and then again to $50. So whilst the volume today might be a little lighter, if there end up being a good pattern at some point, could be worth looking at. If not, just continuation. But that is going to be my full watch list. So 4 stocks, and then outside of that, I'm going to keep my eyes on the scans, the halt scanner, the Hive Day scanner, just to see if we get any extra opportunities. All right, let's see. Let's post this to the alert section, as well as the YouTube live stream, and we should be good to go. Again, if you're tuning in, Matthias, hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up. All right, let's get to the list here. So let's see. NAOV up 180%, 24 million shares of volume. Pre-market highs clocking in at 942. This right here is the ideal type of stock that I like to trade. Like, back in the days, it was below $1, like 4 years ago. And then it became like the 250 to like 550 range. Now I love this type of like 9, like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This type of range, it's nice because we can see those bigger moves, right? And being that we're at $10, typically we'll see not necessarily more of a spread per se, but we'll have that good range, right? So the stock could potentially go from 9 to 960, back down to 9, up back, back up to 10, break of 10, 1050. The stock's down at 1. I mean, the one that we had yesterday, though, I mean, typically you don't see a stock go from 60 cents to 90 cents in one candle, right? It happens, but it's more rare. It's a little bit more normal for a stock at this price to go up and down $1 a share, which can sometimes provide a little bit more opportunity, for hyper scalping. Now, it doesn't mean that this price range is better. They're all equally as good, and they all carry just as much risk. Typically, when a stock is cheaper, we can utilize more share size. At this price range, more than likely, I'm not going to be using the same shares that I'd be using down at 1, right? Sometimes we still would, but not always, right? It's more rare for that type of size to come out. But anyhow, we got our high point, 942, lows at 710. In terms of the more recent range, though, it seems like we've been holding up VWAP area. So I think I might watch this for my lows here instead, which is around 780, just below $8. I think I'll keep that here for the current lows. So the daily chart, how are we looking? So checking out my daily chart here, switching over to the daily, I'm seeing that we are above the 200 EMA, which is around $7 or so. That's a good sign. Going back though to January 6th of this year, we had a day where we went from 650 to 14. That is definitely a day I want to keep an eye out for. So I'm going to put a trend line up at 14. There's also a day going back to August of last year where we had a high point of 1062. 1062. There's a couple of levels here. Let's get to mapping them out. And it's I'll use the exact number. So 1397 to be exact. 1397. There are levels such as 786, which is a rejection of the 200 EMA a few weeks back. So again, we're seeing support down at like 780 as of right now. So that's interesting. Then there's 891. And then lastly, 1063. Can we push through these levels easily? I think that'll be the key here. And oftentimes we'll come to these trend lines and it'll be like a hot knife going through butter, but other times we do come up and we can see them act as resistance. Perhaps short sellers looking at those higher points and shorting against those levels. Sometimes it also can be support, right? We can get above it and then pull back into the level, hold up nicely, and keep going. Something I was telling myself yesterday is this. I don't know the exact way to phrase this, right? Because we all need rules. We all need to be careful. We all need to be patient. Follow a strategy that's working. But with that being said, and this is like a conversation we have in the team house. It's like almost like the more ignorant you are. Again, I know it sounds so crazy, right? I'll expand a little more. It's like the more crazy you are, the better you could potentially do, and it has a lot to do with like not overthinking, not trying to be perfect, but just reacting to the opportunities in front of you, managing risk and going for it, right? And it's like if you try to be a perfectionist and have everything try to be the right way, the exact circumstance, sometimes you start to then overanalyze. You start to overthink a good opportunity that was there. Maybe you're second guessing, triple guessing it, think, hey, is this a good move or not? Before you know it, you missed a trade, right? So my best days, and there's like 4 days that I really think of throughout my entire trading career when I think about it, right? The best days I've ever had is just me just straight up reacting to what the market is telling me, right? Not overthinking, not second guessing, not any of that. And so, you know, hopefully that didn't sound too bad. But yeah, it's like, the more we get too much into it, the more we can, overanalyze. So yeah, looking to just keep it simple. I think that's the best way to summarize it. Looking to keep things simple today, looking to trade the best setups, all the opportunities that are, way too messy, way too risky, leaving it alone, lighter volume stocks, things like that. Just looking to trade all the best opportunities and, locking it in. So NAOV looks pretty good. We got 9 minutes to the opening bell. I'll check out here next GLXG. GLXG. So this one is a little cheaper. Highs were at 281, but we had a massive sell-off here. So this type of stock, I'll be looking for a red to green. It doesn't have to be the first 5 minutes of the open, but within the first 2 hours, can we get a curl back up? We're at 160 right now. Can we see 225? If we're lucky, can we retest the pre-market highs? And if so, 304 is the 200 EMA on the daily, which is a known area for resistance, right? So we can keep an eye out for that. If we're able to get through smoothly, perhaps the stock can then go to 325, 350, 375, maybe even $4. So GLXG definitely looks all right here if we can get that red to green going, within 2 or 3 hours of the open. Other than that, the daily chart, I'm looking at it. There's not a ton that I would want to map out here. Let's see. Yeah, there's not a ton. I think because we had such an aggressive move over to, I'd say if we're able to get back over to VWAP at $2, we should be able to have a smooth ride back up to pre-market highs. Not guaranteed, but if the stock is strong. And other than that, again, 4, maybe 5, 6, right? If it's really, really impressive today. GLXG. So lastly here, CYCU for the fresh stocks. Guys, don't forget if you're tuning in on YouTube to hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up. Oh man, my neck is killing me. I still have this. It feels better, but you know what? I was thinking about how this happened to me. I was in the gym doing calf raisers, right? And I had this massive 150-pound bar going over my shoulders. And like a maniac, maybe I was a little too bliss in that moment. I felt a little bit of pain on like rep number 4 out of the 10 to 20 reps I was gonna do, and like, okay, let's just push through and then we'll adjust the weights. Big mistake. Big mistake. All right. Anyhow, not to get distracted here. CYCU, cheaper stock, 78 cents, 79 cents. Lows 56.43. Definitely under some stress here. Coming from those highs, we're seeing some selling pressure. Daily chart, the stock has been selling off aggressively here. If you go back to just February 14th, February 13th of this year, brutal sell off. So it's always fair to get some sort of bounce. And honestly, relative to the move down, this bounce is like nothing. So you know, hopefully we've been seeing stocks around the 60 cent range get over $1. I think it's possible this one goes. That's just been the trend we've been seeing. It's not guaranteed, of course, nothing is, but if we can, that would be nice to break over one. Over 97, if we can hold, maybe get to 115, 120, a few halts up. You know, just like that, we can see 135, 160 for CYCU. Other than that, I do have JNVR. SXTP, you know, this one did give a bit of a pop earlier, but right now it does look a little choppy. Maybe there's a chance it goes, but it's not going to be my, you know, top three. I'll have it, you know, on the rotation though. So JNVR, coming back to this one, high point yesterday, 48.47. I'm going to clean up the chart just a little bit so it doesn't look too messy. But I mean, just absolutely impressive here. It blew through every level and, you know, basically all-time highs. So that's why I'm not surprised if it is to continue again today. If it gains a little bit of volume, maybe gets halted up, we could see something. If not, perhaps a day of rest for hopefully the daily candle to make a new high again. So JNVR definitely want to keep on one of those side charts. All right, 2 minutes, 44 seconds to go. I'm gonna first adjust my share size. NAOV will be the stock that I watch into the open. Baby size first here for me. It's an adjustment that I made, I think at this point 2 months ago. That way I will never start red in the first 3 minutes. And a lot of it is because the first 3 minutes, sometimes it's very difficult to predict if we're going to see that stronger move right away with the opening surge, or if we'll get more chop. Because sometimes you get that nice green candle, minute number 1, but then by minute number 2, the stock is already back at lows, right? So the point is for me to wait at least 4 to 5, 6 minutes, somewhere in that range. And at that point, if a stock is still strong, then I size up. Am I at risk of not maximizing in the first couple of minutes? The answer is yes, but it's one of those things where I'm taking a step back to, you know, have a step forward, right? So all good in the neighborhood. So share size looks good. Other than that, again, I want to remind myself about just a couple of key things. One, when I'm looking for those dip trades, I got to be very quick and decisive. I also want to utilize a little bit of a smaller size. There are some trades where I'll look to hold a little longer. There are others where I'm going to be in and out just, you know, very quickly. But nevertheless, I do want to size down this a tad bit towards some of the dips. And I want to be very, very reactive. The moment it looks good, I need to be in without hesitation. That's going to be pretty key here today. When it comes to chasing breakouts, it's always a tough one. You know, the stock really has to prove itself, at least on the first attempt, I think, before I look to be that aggressive. But if it ends up being a stock where it's like, hey, you know, take the new high because it's just going, then that's what I want to do. If not, you know, I want to leave it alone, not be too aggressive buying the top tick, and then stock is back down. And let's see. Okay, yeah. Whenever the stock does break below the 1 minute range, I want to be careful of being patient and waiting for the 5 minute pullback. There are some times where it curls right back up right away, but you know, it's always a little tricky. So let's see how this does here. NAOV. getting more lag in level 2 in the tape. It's off by like 4 seconds. Hopefully it fixes itself here early. Hopefully. Let's see. Stock is pretty strong at this point. Let's see if it continues. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Man, what is up with our instruments here? I got it figured out with this E-Trade level 2, but it's gonna definitely cost me here a little bit. What is up with DAS these last couple days? Oh man, not how you want to start. This level 2 is driving me crazy. So I got the E-Trade time and sales, which seems to be working, but it took a little bit of time to get it going. Okay, we're a little bit behind on the ball here, but I think that's fine. So we got resumption coming up. We're halted up at 1034. It's showing sideways. Perhaps we see a pullback here and then an additional move. We're over the pre-market highs. 1063 would be the next level. There's 2 minutes, 57 seconds to resumption. Man. A few weeks ago, like maybe like 6 weeks ago, I was thinking about going to light speed for level 2. But then I was able to update my DAS and it started working again in the first couple of minutes. But before then, like the first minute and 30 seconds, like every day for like months, I wouldn't be able to to trade because of the delay. But by minute number 2, 3, usually it'd be back to normal. And I didn't really switch to light speed, like, right away, like let's say day number 1, because it's like, okay, I'm not trading with size the first minute or two anyways, looking to take it more easy. So it's like I just kind of always chilled a little bit, but this is problematic here. This is problematic. So we got a minute, 10 seconds. What I wanted to, I was hoping we'd get another pullback, like below 9. We had 980, I think 980. I was long at 990, but I sold at 9 because we had that hesitation. And I'm like, okay, can we please dip again? Because then I'll take that dip for sure. But it's straight up into the moon. 30 seconds. We're currently 10:34. 15 seconds. No fear, no hesitation. As long as we see our setup here. It's just going. It's just going. Can we get a proper dip? Sub 11 might not be enough. Or maybe it might be. Highs are at 90. Oh my gosh, wow. Bro, what? What's causing it to be so strong is insane. I'm going to take a loss there, though, somehow. Perhaps higher fill. Watching the pullbacks. Waiting. 1270. Bro, what in the world? Are we seeing resistance? Perhaps. Now, it's important that this 1 minute pullback holds up. I mean, I can't believe how strong this stock is. What in the world? Time, 10 seconds in a candle. We should see a new high or retest the highs eventually. So that's like a false breakout. We kind of got up there. Can we hold? Okay, can we hold? Oh, that was close. Risky business, risky business. Sizing down a little bit. If I got a bad fill right there, it would have been half the gains. So that's a double top, kind of. But it didn't sell off aggressively. So I will be taking this dip and selling the rip. Now, this is where we need to hold up again. If it doesn't hold up here, we kind of might be in a little bit of trouble. Are we going to see new lows? They're selling, but it's holding. I'm going to jump in, tight stop, smaller size. Taking a couple cents at 85. It's still battling, but it could break down. I'm still jumping in and looking to keep tight stops. Perhaps I came out a little too soon right there. Oh, fear got me, man. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. I had it. 17 fill. It's horrendous. I tell you, you can't be fearful. Got to be courageous here. Perhaps we might come down. Easing off, waiting. This is where we could see the 5-minute setup. Had 50 entry and sold before it moved to 12 there, just out of panic. Oh wow, it's back up. Can we continue? There's a bid. Oh man. Sizing down some more as we're seeing some turbulence. Got to preserve capital. Okay, over 12. We're having a consolidation. We're holding up the consolidation. Hmm. There's a bid here, but is is, is it enough? There's 20,000 at 12, and it's not enough. I'm definitely losing here, taking a lot of chop. All right, I'm gonna size down again to half. Going back to just baby size till we can get a good rhythm again. I think another move is coming, which is why I'm even taking trades. Okay. The lows are at 11.08. That's a brutal stretch right there. Bounce off of 1140. Sizing down, definitely the right move for me here. So just being patient. We got higher lows in the 5. Looks good. I think on the next leg up is where we can dominate. Now that we know how it's moving. As long as it gives a dip and it holds that dip on the next leg up, I will be in. I will be in like seasoning. So just waiting patiently. Is it worth a shot here? No, it is not. Taking a dip. Good trade. Bad. Can we keep holding? Can we see over 12? 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 I might ease off a little bit. Might come down. So I'm going to wait some more here. What's it going to be? And if we retest these lows, it needs to be instant. Okay, not bad. Come on, over 12. Dip, 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 dip. Please give me a dip. Please, please, please. Oh my god, I'm gonna get cooked in that. Fuck. Jesus Christ. All okay. Half the gains to the depths. The lows of 25. And it's back up. Oh, that is not cool. Oh, that is not okay. That was with size, brother. The high is at 1280 on that last push. This one is definitely interesting. Oh my gosh, bro. What? There's no way. What was my fill? I'm curious. Bro, I got lucky. Dang. Alright, maybe I take my gains here. Maybe I take my gains, because that was too close. I got a very fortunate fill because I was a little slow to buy. Or I would have lost another 1K. Alright, perhaps we take the gains. And what a freaking consolidation, though. Jeez. Bro, I haven't seen a stock be on like this is like on steroids here. Alright, we gotta slow it down though, because sizing back down, we gotta give ourselves as much longevity as possible. I already took 2 massive flushes. On the first big dip, I was hoping for a pullback and then the retest, but maybe the stock went up too high before the dip came. Might have been the problem there. So 10.03 for lows, it's a huge bounce. XTP halting up.
You may resume in less than a minute. SXTP. PG. IBBD.
What we need on these days is for our instruments to be working so we can trade the first big move. The consolidation is always tricky. You can definitely do well in the consolidation, but you can't get caught in those flushes, man. If you get caught in a flush or two, especially with size.
SXTP halted. SXTP will resume at 9 hours and 18 seconds. GPT may resume in less than a minute.
Dang. It could be backside. I mean, it's a little early, but it could be backside. I think I'm going to shift my focus to SXTP resumption. High of this consolidation is 1130. But based off of how fast this one can move, it's possible it definitely can get back to highs again, but I think we need to hold up this low here. Not, it starts to look a little too weak. Not a bad place for the 5-minute setup at all. Not a bad place at all. Time 35.
SPIR. BG.
Two minutes to SX. Well, S whatever it is. SXTP. 2 minutes.
SOBR.
If this does break out, I'm willing to take it again.
BG.
Time 1 minute 30 seconds.
TRO.
SPIR. AAOI. SPXL. Kits halted. KIDZ will resume at 10 hours 2 minutes and 41 seconds. TRNR.
Come on. Must have move.
SXTP may resume in less than a minute.
Must have move before SXTP resumption.
SPXL.
There's about 40 seconds. Alright, gearing up for the resumption. I'll trade the resumption off screen.
DBI.
Oh, is it gonna go? 20 seconds.
SBH.
Okay.
TRNR.
It could still go.
BG.
Resumption is 7 seconds.
Beta K.
SXTP.
SOBR. LUNR.
Come on. Highs at 20.
SPIR.
And I'm gonna lose 400 bucks on this one.
And may resume in less than a minute. LUNR.
Not the cleanest.
SXTP.
SAG.
SAG. TRNR.
I don't know about SXTP, bro. That seems pretty depthy. Lost 460. The dip to 4, I guess, was okay, but
BG.
NAOV, we'll see if it's able to retest again. Fear, 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 bro. Fear, fear got me. I had the chance to take sides there. I'm too soft, bro. Oh my god. Oh, you know what's crazy is that I envisioned this trade already in my mind, bro. And I still didn't pull the trigger to buy it two more times as it's going. Man, bro, that is pathetic. But a great move, though, nevertheless. 14.10 to halt up. Bro, that is so bad. Is it coming all the way down? Oh, man, dang, that could have been my biggest trade ever again right there, bro. That's the difference of a $10,000 trade right there, the size. There's risk, of course, if it's to fail, but the setup was there, brother.
CBNA. CRDO.
Hmm.
SOXL. IONQ.
5.
LUNR. HOD.
Come on, give us something else, something else, something else. Come on. Bro, man, that's just insane. I already in my mind thought about if it was to go through that level of 1130, hold, and how I would take the trade. And I don't follow through.
NAOB. AAOI. CBNA.
It's strange to see a stock be this strong. It's like almost doesn't make any sense. But it is going.
AOB. CBNA. BESLSN may resume in less than a minute. AAOI. LGPS. CBNA. SPIR. CLS. APP. CBNA. NAOB. AAOI.
Ooh, that was a tough one. 14.77. The good old mental battle of fear and hesitation. Lows are at 1477, highs are at 1625. Oh, bounce. What's going on? All right, I'm gonna try it again. Good. Not good. Um,
Jay-Z.
oh my gosh. All right, I'm holding this time. Holding this time. Holding for 50. 1550. There's 30. And I'm not gonna get a good fill. Bro. Not only did I miss that bigger trade with the size I envisioned, but I also got so frustrated there still that I kind of missed a few trades going up. So just not good. Got to trade without baggage here is the key. To trade without baggage.
AYA.
Trade without baggage. Be reactive. Just buy the dip. Keep tight stop. Buy the dip. Buy the dip. Keep the tight stop. The 5-minute candle is red, so it's a little tough here in case we get new lows. Watching.
JNBR halted. JNBR will resume at 10 hours 13 minutes and 37 seconds.
Not a great fill.
And may resume in less than a minute. APDN. UMAC. CYCU. SGLY. BG. IONQ. APDN. CYCU.
and MRA.
NAYA.
If it goes, it needs to hold. Time. And it didn't quite go. Are we coming down? Not. Can we see the retest? Still holding high. Trying for the retest again. But 40, perhaps too much resistance.
BG.
REBB. CYD.
TDUP.
High is at 46. How well can we do if we get above 40? It could be similar to the last trade. There's the spread here.
APDN. CYCU. BG.
Oh, son of a gun, you son of a gun.
JNBR may resume.
Well, it gave the same opportunity, but this time it's going to fail. Equal and opposite reaction there. Damn, man. Good thing I sold two because it kind of stickled out a little bit. It's still here though. Could potentially try and reclaim.
BG.
These stocks are definitely unforgiven.
BG. BG.
Nice.
May resume in less than VST.
TGL.
I haven't looked at VG.
JNBR halted. JNBR will resume at 10 hours 19 minutes and 45 seconds. BG.
OXRH.
VST. HOD.
I mean, this is pretty high. It's like pretty high for a dip. But it's kind of holding so far.
HOD.
Can we
CBSA.
not?
GFR.
BG. HCC. CBSA.
I've never seen a stock. I mean, I guess we've seen it, but it's like just still unbelievable how strong the moves were.
EMEC.
CNR. MLYS. JNBR may resume in less than a minute.
We definitely can't afford another big loss, so we got to tread very carefully.
CBSA.
We've had too many.
BG. CBNA.
RMA. BCAX.
SLSN may resume in less than a minute. CBSA. CBNA. APDN.
Key is to not see a false breakout.
NAYA. JNBR.
If it goes over 15, we need it to not be back at like 13, 13.50. That's where I'm seeing I could take a loss if it doesn't go, but because I'll be in the trade. It'll be a good setup, but
BG.
okay. We're getting some green, but no bounce. Cutting it.
NAYA. MLGO. JNBR.
All right, I'm gonna size down again here.
APDN.
These are big levels.
ELC.
It's coming down.
MLGO.
Bro. You gotta definitely hit. You gotta definitely be. You gotta be sharp here trading. You gotta be sharp. I definitely think I could have done better. Not sizing up to my intuition and then lingering on missing the trade cost me to then miss a lot of trades in this area here. which was like pretty pathetic. You missed it. You didn't size up. You had a good trade. Move on. Take like right away. Should be on to the next opportunity. My mind's there for 2 minutes, just wasting time. Like if nothing is happening in green candles. And now I'm thinking about it, and I'm gonna go even more mad. So I gotta just keep looking at the screen, keep trying to manage risk. You would think after 5 years you would be beyond such things. We did have some turbulence though. We got up to 4.5 and dropped back down to 1400. So we lost a lot there. And then we got up to 6,000 and then dropped down to 4.3. And now we're at 4.6. Trying to hold on to it. Decent bounce there at those lows. We'll see if it gives a flag here. But we're definitely looking. How are we looking? I mean, the stock is definitely still bullish under all things considered, but we've made new lows in the 5-minute. We're consolidating below 1397, which was a key daily level, which is not a great sign. We definitely want to see candlesticks close above 14 on this flag here. Another issue is the DAS lagging in the first 2-3 minutes, you know. That also cost us dearly.
WINT.
Yeah, we got about 14 though. There's still 40 seconds in this 1-minute candlestick. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. That's what I like to see. Nice. Nice. But can we hold up? Okay. Could mean business in the next 15 seconds. Could mean business. How's the candle going to close? Is the question. Time. Is it going to be? Okay. All right. There may be some hope yet. Not out of the woods though. So far, so good here. Time. Okay, hold on. Maybe a little too early. Waiting. Okay. Bro, if we get another run, there's no excuse. I mean, we already had it twice, but if there's a third run, there's no excuse here. We need the 5-minute candle here in the next 2.5 minutes to hold up.
TNXP.
And preferably close above 1433.
IONQ.
Tall task for 2 minutes. If not, we'll see how the next 5-minute candle play out for potential ABCD. We'll see. You know, it might retest the lows. The halt down is all the way at 11, so we got to be careful if it does, if it flushes out. There is some green printing here, but I should have gotten filled. What was that?
APDN.
Oh my gosh. All right, do not fail. Don't you dare. It's gonna stop me out though.
TNXP.
Came down to 18, bro. Come on.
TOPW.
There's a small chance we can get back to high of day. Damn, that was close to failing miserably. New highs, new highs, new highs, new highs, new highs. Cover, 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 cover. I'm buying because short sellers should be covering. Into the moon. Cover, cover. Take me to new high of day. Yeah. We're likely to see a new high of day, I think, at this point. Tight stops. Where's KB? KB, take us to the moon. Take us there in style.
TOPW.
Come on. Give me some separation so I can feel comfortable in this trade. Bounce to 50. Good, good. Good. Now do not drop below the whole dollar, or I will be forced to stop out. And then re-average, because there's no way I'm not getting back in. Oh, it didn't break down. It didn't break down. See, this is how you could end up missing the trade. With all this in and out that I'm doing, I just need to hold with more confidence. And I get blaze. Great. Getting back in even lower. Tight stop. Bottom. Do not keep going down. We need it to bottom here. Any lower is too much. Alright, it's giving back the move. Son of a gun, son of a gun. So much for the new high of day. It doesn't really quite look like a double top either, so... Well, yeah, maybe it was. Okay, double top. Bro, there's no way the short sellers didn't get afraid there and just cover everything. I would have been out right at the highs, covering my position. Brave souls to hold. And maybe there's just long bias traders taking profits at the highs too. That's my best sequence right there. Because I didn't hesitate on anything. And sadly, I made no money. Maybe it's so late in the move. And I had small size. See, that type of mindset needs to be applied to the first two sequences. No fear, just taking the trades. And it's a whole crazy looking, the day would be, you know, like 18,000 right now. SXTP is back up a little bit. Over $4 could be interesting, but it's been choppy earlier. I'd want to be careful if I'm to touch it. This candlestick is about to close, and it looks like maybe a little bit of a weaker candlestick on the 5. But it doesn't mean that it can't try again, but definitely tough.
TOPW.
Tough pullback there. Oh, and there goes SXTP. Over 4. Yeah, it's still moving kind of strange. I'll leave it alone. It seems like it's a little thinner. So the fills are probably all over the place. How hard is it to show up every day and trade to the best of your ability? What I can't understand is like in the moment I can see what's happening, but then it's like I'm not reacting fast enough to just get back on track, you know, mentally. You can't be so aware to then not be aware to then make the change, you know. emotions.
TRL.
73 for the lows on that last candle. I'm late to that entry, pretty late. Fair fill. I'll take the 5 cents. Not the best trade, but perhaps a flat trade. There's 38, not bad. Talk to us, talk to us. Ah, okay. I'm probably in at what, 60?
GL.
Close to it. That held fairly well. Highs were at 95. Probably retest. Can we retest? Seeing a little bit of turbulence here. This is a good start if this candle is to, you know, curl back up. We need this type of strength in the candlestick here on the 5. Mindset, mindset, mind over matter.
CBSA. TRL.
ZBSA close to the halt level.
HCA. KZIA.
TRL.
No one wanted that. Wow. ZBSA still going.
$10 44 minutes and 54 seconds. CBSA.
ZBSA is definitely moving up. It just seems so tricky to then try to adjust to this lower price action. I can start with small size. There hasn't been a pullback on it though. It's just going since about 95. It's waiting for me to go by 130 so that it can then false breakout. 85.
HPPC.
TRNR.
Alright, I think this one is finished officially. Official backside. ZVSA, better late than never. We just had a pullback though, so I'm gonna miss that. 15. I'm gonna have to start with just 1,000 shares here.
TRNR.
Alright, let's see what ZVSA is talking about. The 5-minute candle is about to close. Can we close on a good uptick? 24, not bad. Highs are 30.
TRNR.
New highs, new highs, new highs.
EVXY. BBSA.
Teleport to the halt level. Oh, bueno. It held again. I didn't jump back in. That's on me. X34. Definitely a little extended here, though.
TRNR. FAT and Baltic. FAT and will resume at 10 hours 50 minutes and 21 seconds.
We're seeing selling pressure over 30. So I'm thinking perhaps a nice sweet pullback. Although we don't want our 5-minute candle to close red, so if a tight pullback comes, that'll be good. And we kind of had 27, but you know, still fairly high versus 33, 34 highs. Still watching here, waiting. Can't afford to take losses. So just 1,500 shares the next couple of trades.
MKDW.
BXX.
Why am I still thinking about that trade? You see, it's like this. I don't understand why I'm still thinking about it. I'm on a new stock. Oh my gosh. Distractions. Fight the urge. Be disciplined. Focus. Bro, I'm only up $100. What? I took like 4 great trades there. 43 to halt up. It should just go like, what are we getting shorted here? Are we seeing profit taking? Good. You have everything you need for new highs. And yet I take losses there. Halt up, please. Halt up, please. 44. Get locked in. So I have the intuition that this could get halted up and I still lose money, right? That can happen for any new trader watching on. It's this there. Guys, don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube where we have 440 people still here, hit the thumbs up. Yeah, I'd say that I'm disciplined, but I deal with things like inside my head when I'm trading. Like what I've been talking about here today. In fact, that's like my biggest like thing, like ever, like at all times. That's the demon that I'm fighting actually. It's not like averaging down or something like that. It's just this lingering of not living up to my own personal expectation for myself. Can you imagine simulating the stock giving a move and exactly how you want to approach it, and then the stock does the same exact thing, and then you do not execute it how you know you can, how you know you should, and then after that it almost just feels disappointing, like it's like the gain that I had was great, but still there's this feeling of just disappointment. It is what it is. I gotta say it how it is. But you gotta program your mind to still be focused, to then also be grateful, right? Like I just made 3K in one trade. You gotta smile. Think about the days where I was at Amazon slaving away for $10 an hour. And remember that 3K in one trade is phenomenal. No matter how you put it, no matter who you are, where you're from. There's people right now dreaming of 3K in a trade. And then here I am upset about it. So there's the two sides. Having that, I think I need to be a little frustrated. Maybe not disappointed, but frustrated. And be more intentful on the next go around, right? It's like the balance of life, right? The yin and yang. It's like you don't want to be too much on one side, but you want to be down the middle. The Goldilocks zone, as they say. So I need to, on the left side, which is like frustration and disappointment, and then the other side of gratitude, just take take the learning lessons from both sides and then use that to move forward. So what I need to do is like, all right, I messed up right there, didn't really follow through with the plan. Next time for sure. Next time. I got this. Not carrying baggage to the next trade and the next stock, and then you're not as focused as you need to be. So resumption is in a minute 15 seconds. And the stock is definitely extended, but I'm going to look for the classic dip and rip. I'm not going to use more than 3,000 shares the first trade. I got a minute to go. We're now up there to 128 likes. Be sure to hit that thumbs up.
CVSA may resume in less than a minute.
3K a week is great. 3K a trade is a dream. I thought about the risk of taking 10,000 shares though. Right? That's what stopped me really and truly. It's like, yeah, if this flushes down, I'm down 10 grand. It's like, bro, okay, down 3 grand, I don't care, but down 10 grand is too much. All right, 10 seconds. ZVSA halted up 144. If we see the dip and rip, no fear, no hesitation.
F18 and may resume in less than a minute. FEDU halted. FEDU will resume at 10 hours 58 minutes and 24 seconds.
Not enough range on that upside pop. Can we get the pullback?
UBXY.
I'm leaving it alone. I'm gonna wait. It needs to make a new high. If not, leaving it alone. It's a little too indecisive here.
TZA.
Can we hold 55 is the key? Okay. Any micros? Any micros? Any micros? 58. And
CVSA. UBXY.
50. Okay, okay, that's fair. I'm too early on that micro. Yeah, there's some chop for sure. The micro only went back to 61. We would have wanted to see 70, which is the new halt up.
TZA.
So not quite follow through there.
UBXY. BXX.
I think a halt down is imminent. Might not happen, but that's what I think. Let's see. Okay, 60. Maybe it keeps going. Okay, maybe. We'll see. As you guys know, I'm only right 50% of the times. So $62, $61. Again, the range a little tight. Not that much room to really make anything. The downside risk may be just as high as the upside potential here, which is never great. I tried to go short right there, 59, no shares available. I think we should see a halt down. I think it's more likely than a new high.
FEDU may resume in less than a minute. SDOW. TZA. BXX. UBXY.
Probably would have took half at 51 right there, just in case it bottoms out. Maybe break even on the rest or trailing stop. Couple cents if anything. Time, there's 2 minutes for the 5-minute candle to recover if it wants to bottom out here.
TZA. SDOW. BXX. UBXY. DRIP.
Time,
IXY.
1 minute 15 seconds to the close of this 5-minute candle. Up or down? Not great that we didn't get to 60 there.
UBXY.
And there's only 30 seconds coming down. The halt is at 40.
NWGL.
Yeah, I think this is cooked. It is hanging by a thread. There's the halt down.
CCIF.
If I am short, the trade I took right here is, kind of a trade where I'd be watching either for the trailing stop, or it depends, or maybe just keep holding. But this entry at 55 is like the last chance for this thing to like curl up and the candle actually close in decent shape off of this flag. If not, Titanic to the depths. Now, because this stock is so strong, because it's up so much, it's possible that it's able to recover this drop here. Maybe not right away, but like over time. But, this is what we don't really want, is the 5-minute candle to close with this type of weakness. So there's always the risk of backside, and this being like the shooting star candlestick. And then maybe, Christmas tree. Volume, 8.5, which is high of day volume, which is not a great sign. We have seen stocks resume in these areas lower, and then, retest the highs still in this type of candlestick going down. But I think the better move and the easier money was here. Crazy guys like Tim will snipe these entries on the backside. I opt to leave it alone. But I wouldn't be surprised if it recovers, right? NXU. I don't know how Marcelo and Tim does it on the backside, but maybe that's the day. I mean, if we consider an AOV backside, right? If we consider this backside,
FMT.
it does look kind of brutal. But there was also a range in a lot of areas. I'm just not as good on the backside. back in the days, I watched the video with Tim, and it's like the way how the stock is like going down, and the guy just cuts the trade quickly, get back in, cuts the trade quickly, get back in. Bro, if I was taking those same trades, like by the end of everything, he's flat, right? Like he started at zero, he ended at zero. If I took those same trades, my P&L say minus 2K. It's like 4,500 shares in, out, in, out. It's like, bro, there's no way. I probably sometimes like, give the trade too much time, or like a 1 second extra for like, hey, are we holding or are we not? That already is too much, and then you get blazed. So the backside, you got to be very quick. You got to be careful.
FMT halted. FMT will resume in
It's like unbelievable that like that, bro. How did you not lose money there? Like it's almost just ridiculous.
SAG.
I'm in out once, quick look back, minus 500, minus 500, just over and over. But the time will come where the pastor masters even the backside, and we're able to trade with more speed and clarity.
CBSA may resume in less than a minute.
Oh my gosh. Okay, all right. I think maybe there's 38 seconds to this resumption. I think that could be the day here. I'm not super interested in trading it. There could be a bounce, but perhaps we take the gains and run. This thing is still giving opportunities. In fact, it's interesting if the 5 minute candle makes a new high here.
NWGL.
If it starts to gain volume, though, volume here is like flatlining.
F18 and may resume in less than a minute.
We need like a high volume bar here and a good high close. If we can close around like 15, then it actually looks really good again. So ZVSA is back at 50.
DRIP. NWGL.
$11.06.
DRIP. TZA. SDOW. FMTO may resume in less than a minute.
The halt's at 61.
TZA.
And it's locked in. Not bad.
F18 and halted. F18 and will resume at 11 hours 11 minutes and 40 seconds.
Not bad at all. Not bad.
TZA, SPXU, SDOW, SDS, SPXS. UBXY, CBSA, Alt VXX, CBSA will resume at 11 hours 12 minutes and 31 seconds.
CERO.
AGH, CERO, BIXY.
I had the bull by the horn.
UBXY.
3 minutes, 13 seconds to resumption.
BXX.
By the way, happy and healthy. How are you doing today? If you're still in front of your computer,
SPXS. TZA.
you can type into the day trading chat.
SDS.
Hope you're enjoying the stream. One time.
SPXU. SDS.
Just one, just one, just one.
TZA.
Man, there's some impressive traders in here, though. In the chat room. Okay, resumption in 1 minute, 15 seconds. I'm thinking just smaller size. It all depends on the range here. If we can get to like 85, that'll be great. But if the halt is just at like 170, in comparison,
TZA.
we had an AOV.
SDOW.
The halt levels were like $3.50 away, up and down.
AGH. FMTO may resume in less than a minute. TZA.
23 seconds.
UBXY. SPXU. SDS.
15 seconds.
SPXS.
ZVSA coming up.
SQQQ. QSD.
Here we go. 5, 4, 161.
DRIP.
Dips.
TZA.
Oh, wow. Not bad. Not bad at all.
SPXU. SDS.
It might go to $2. $2.25 is my guess.
QID.
because that's just what we've been seeing from this price range. There's all the last week and a half, there's been one stock going from 80 cents to like 220 and then to the depths. So there might still be a chance here for something more. But definitely, typically, is the higher the stock go, the more risk you want to, mitigate with smaller size.
CBSA.
So it's probably not the time to be a hero up here.
SOXS.
And then,
SQQQ.
get back on your day.
SDS. UBXY. SPXS. QID. BXX. SDOW.
What we haven't had in a long time is one of these stocks like this go all the way to like 5 or 10. It's been maybe like a year plus since we've seen that. They always like stall out around this type of area, 150, 220. But when they go all the way to 4 or 5, it's important that it's not just halts only. If it just halts only, then it's just too risky. You have too many resumptions that are halting up that resumes lower, and all sorts of craziness. But if there's like charts, or let's say candlesticks in the way, in the middle of it, then you actually get to have some good price action and good trades. Minutes, 10 seconds. Minute 40. Hey you, what's up? Glad to have you part of the community. Twin says she agrees with the trades from Tim. Guys, don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you have not already. We got 46 seconds to resumption. 46 seconds to resumptions. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We'll be live again tomorrow at 9:15 a.m. market time. All right, we're at 179. Resumption is showing 180. Can we see a pullback and then a new high? That's what I'm looking for here. If I don't see it, I don't want to take the trade because it might be too risky just buying the breakout. It's a break of 2. 3, 2, here we go. Oh, not good. All right, maybe I'll probably take a haircut here, depending on how this goes. Well, we got the dip, but the dip did not stop dipping. Classic, man. Oh, climb, please. Jeez, of course. The end of the day, this can't complain. It's showing 140 resumption, so I'm gonna lose 600 here. Is that math right? Probably more than that. Jeez, Louise, bro. See, now if Tim had bought this dip, the resumption would have been break even. Tim watching? Timmy, are you listening in to the audio? The pastor has it rough today. Tomorrow, though. Tomorrow. Ay, ay, ay. Lucas, you're not alone, my brother. We will be going down on the ship together here. Getting cooked alive. I think this is a good time to flood the chat with a few memes again. Where's the scene where the water like rushes into the ship here? Oh man. Okay, resumption is climbing 62. That's much better. Much, much better. Now the loss is now less than 1K, which is great. We got Save and Dynamo probably unloading big boy size up there. Catastrophic collapse. Yeah, that's a good one. And so, at Big Steve, brother, we need you to share the backstory, please. Did he leave? Oh, he left already. It's not. Where's the resumption? 63. Okay, okay. Climb for me. It's showing 62, but I'm expecting 46. I'll hope for the best, prepare for the worst here. 3, 2. Fair. More than fair. I'm grateful for that resumption. And definitely is enticing to take a dip here, a dip trade. Like it looks good. Like it's the technical is kind of still there for another dip and move back up. Lows were about 62. There's new lows, 57. How well are we going to react down here? Good bounce. Now slowly, can we get back over 70? And if it does, eventually, perhaps 75. Okay, cool. All right. I'll take the green and get off the scene. Pastor is out of here. So we'll take the $4,600. Solid day. Red 2 stocks, SXTP. I thought SXTP was tough, man. Just a brutal one. The price action just didn't seem smooth. But, so we got caught on a resumption trade there. Over 2 trades, we got $400 in the red. ZVSA. Again, the better opportunities may have been, lows of 90 through the move, 130. It's like if you're watching this stock as your main stock, you're probably way more locked in, way more in rhythm and flow. Showing up at 130, it's, a little bit more tough, but still opportunities though. Perhaps we did a bad job being a little too passive in this haul down and red to green. Even if I wasn't looking at the lows, maybe I could, at least watch high of day a little bit more closely, or the 1 minute candle to make the new high. But pretty decent nevertheless. We manage risk. That's the main thing. So yeah, for those of you on YouTube, be sure to hit the thumbs up. Check out the links down below. So here's the thing with Momo Pro, right? So Momo Pro, I have the number to the CEO, right? And over the last 2 years, I've been asking for an update to help improve the high of day scanner, or let's say the high-low stream is what it's called. While the stream captures hot stocks, it's so wide that basically anything that moves in the market hits the scan. So it becomes pretty noisy, and when a stock is moving up real time, it's like I'm not paying attention to it because there's just so much noise always hitting. So the filter that I asked for was a percentage gain filter. Like, hey, let there be an option where only stocks above 20% that are making new highs hit the filter, or hit the scan. And it's like, he told me like, okay, that's easy to do. And like I asked for it at least like 6 times over the 2-3 years, and it's like never never came. So it's like, okay, The software is still good software though. Like I mean, there's good things about it. The gap scan, the alerts, the halt scanner, things like that. But I want everything. And the gap scan is really good, but there are days where there's a stock making a new high that you don't notice right away, you know, and it is pretty costly. So hence these new scanners here. But we'll see how it goes. We'll probably, continue to use them and do like a review video. But for now, so far so good. It's again the gap scan and everything is on par. But the best thing here and the improvement is really this high of day scanner. The 15-second chart as well is also a good thing and a good upgrade. Um, Honestly, I'm not even sure if Momo Pro has it. They might not. But in terms of like charting, you know, having this type of access is not bad. 15-second, and then it's like let's just copy this, let's put it into a new tab, and then what stock is this? ZVSA. I used it once. I need to use it more to see if there's an extra edge because we've been hearing so much about how the 10-second and the 15-second chart can help you out in your trading. Honestly, here's the honest to God truth because I'm so transparent, right? Do whatever you can do to gain an edge. So if you can't afford a scanner, find a free one. Find a free one on YouTube that you might like. Use that. If your broker offers scanners, use that. Use if you like Momo Pro, use that. If you like this, use this. Well, whatever it is there is that you like, you know, whatever gives you an advantage is the biggest thing as the trader, right? But yeah, so far we'll see how so far so good, but over time we'll continue to see. But those are the major differences. There's also price point for people to consider. Like if something is just too expensive as a new trader, you kind of have to do what you got to do until you can like upgrade your software or your PC, your hardware, things like that. But I wouldn't kill myself to try to like get something if it's too out of the bracket. But if it isn't in the bracket and it works for you, then great, you know. So it kind of comes down to those variables and factors. Actually, NAOV, NAOV. This one probably was interesting on the 15-second. These areas like this are interesting. I mean, look at that flush out, but look at how it held up this level here. Definitely something that could encourage you perhaps to be more aggressive at taking a trade. Ultimately, we'll see all of this in the level 2, but your memory could be off. As in, like, if you don't place a trend line at the exact low of this red candle, it bounces. You kind of forget where the low was. You kind of have to hover to check. But this definitely is a clear depiction. The level 2 does show this though. So if your memory is good and hey, we came down here, you'll see these lows, but in a different way, right? Just via the numbers and the bid, the price on the bid. This is catastrophic drop off here. And of course, a bigger bounce following. But yeah, I think that's it. Check out the links down below. You guys can always feel free to check out the classes if you want to get involved and learn this hyper scalping style. We do have a coupon going right now. Coupon code TARIF will give you 40% off the full package and or the blueprint, the full blueprint. Things that are included in your subscription, if you are a full member, will be weekly calls, rehab calls, revisions, Q&As. You'll have access to the live trading archive library. That is a library of our trading days recorded with all of our raw instruments so you guys can see. And we don't guarantee success, but we guarantee transparency. Like, we guarantee you that we show you everything that we know. So this screen, for example, is what I'm looking at all day. This screen. We have like a library of these videos available from prior days for people to check out. And the strategy is the same, right? The way how I trade today is the way how I traded 2 years ago, a year ago, 2 days ago, 2 months ago. What determines if you're red or green is your mind, right? Because the strategy is still the same strategy. Your mind plays a big factor in how green you are. Your mind and then your share size as well, of course. If you're using more size today or this year than you did 5 years ago, then of course you should do better, right? Considering you're taking similar trades. But mentally, you can have lulls. You can get into a funk. There's things that can come along that can mess up your trading. I never love to have excuses. I feel like excuses are weakness. Is a weakness. It's just like blaming something for for something you had control of. There are no excuses. So last month I have to say I traded pretty poorly, right? There's just no other way to say it. There are no excuses. There are things that happened to me outside of the market, but I don't believe they affected my trading. I just didn't trade well, right? And then I had 2 weeks of me trying something new, which is like, okay, to the depths of that. Let's get back to making money. It's hard to stop making money to try something because then you could have been making money, right? There's an opportunity cost. So you have the libraries down here for the people to check out. And then the course itself, which goes from 0 to advanced, from very basic to everything we know. So you guys can check it out. Coupon code TARIF. Tariffs will indeed bring some value here to this economy in one way or another. The good old chat room is always a good place to be here. As I'm getting ready to shut it down, you guys can always feel free to check out the Relentless Trading chat room, where the conversation continues till 12 a.m. Till 12 a.m. You got the main floor right here. You got all the team members. E-trades with some nice entries here. Beautiful stuff. By the way, if you didn't know, all these purple names are students, right? And you can always come and see how everyone is doing. The blue names are the general chat room members. A lot of them are somewhat students too. They'll watch the recaps and these things every day. Students like Alice, $4,200 today, learning from the best traders in the world. Mr. Man, chat room member, getting it done. Also someone who's process over profits. Tempest, way to go, getting it done with the smaller size. Tim saying that he's red today, down 600 at one point. This is at 11 a.m. Mighty Marcelo, one of the top mentors here, $10,000 today. Shay, shout out to Shay. The ladies are also getting it done, as you guys can see here. Shay, $500 on the day. And the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Save, big time trader, down 34,000 surprisingly. A guy like this is usually up 50K on these days. So for him, it's a small pullback. Believe it or not, how crazy the levels are. Hollis, green on the day. Kersey, nicely done. Oren, the list goes on and on and on. And you guys can come here and check and see. So process over profits there, smaller size. The list goes on and on. On and on and on. Stranger. I can't start singing here. I'm going to lose subscribers. This was yesterday. Green Dream, getting it done. Merciless Markets, the best day trading program. There's more. Dynasty. Is there a day trading program that's better than merciless markets? Not in my opinion. And we have receipts here, which is why we can say such aggressive phrases. We have receipts, brother. And this week we're recording another round of successful students, right? We have a couple of interviews lined up that we'll be doing this week. But anyhow, so I'll catch you guys later. Stay safe, stay green. Pastor is out of here. Check out the links down below. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe. Tomorrow again, we'll be back at 9:15 a.m. There'll also be a recap that'll come out around 6 p.m. Eastern time today. So I'll see you guys then. Take care. Stay safe. Stay green. Final P&L 46.96. 4.6. Shutting it down.